Get in, nerds. We are playing Victoria 3. This is my second session of today, the day the new DLC comes out. This one's probably going to be a slightly shorter one, because it's late now. But we're going to see how far we can go. Now, it's not lost on me that the Ottoman Empire is going to have a hard time if they can't complete their, farmers to factories. Hold that thought. Road to progress. The industrialists have expressed their satisfaction with the direction being taken by the country and its newly built factories. There is only one possible direction: forward. Progress is like a train that doesn't stop, doesn't wait for anyone. You're either in or you're out. We've done this for our people, 20% more loyalists from political movements. We're probably pretty good on that front. And we shall support that train, stronger and happier industrialists. Let's go with stronger and happier industrialists, actually. I'm feeling very confident with my loyalism situation. So, this is about whether the Ottoman Empire is going to complete the Tanzimat. So let's take a quick look. They're still on land-based taxation and traditionalism. So that's bureaucratic reform out. They're still on the millet system, still on subjecthood. They're still on hereditary bureaucrats. So that's... I think it's tax reform and bureaucratic reform. They haven't successfully gotten any of this territory back yet. So that part's out. They did successfully become a homesteader country. A homesteading country. So we'll see how that changes their politics. For the moment, though, it seems like they're in where they are. So, you know, it's looking okay for them. Now, they do have a lot of years, so we might need to, you know, speed them along a little bit. With that said, why don't we consider that a possibility? Ottoman Empire. What would it take for you to give me... Wow. You are not going to give me heck all. Damn. Alright, well let's see what we can do with a fight. I want Western Serbia, really. State. Can I demand that? I guess I can't. Let's double check the interactions just to find out. Can't get a conquer state for Ottoman Western Serbia because I'm their subject. Alright, well that makes sense. But I can still try to humiliate them. And if I can get the British on my side, I might be able to clinch this. So, let's give it a shot. Are the British in their own war? I'm gonna scroll back up here. They are, but it's a very small one. So hopefully I can get British help on this. And then maybe I can steal some states that are useful. Alright, so from here, there's some Ottoman battalions in Spain. That's very funny. From here, let's mobilize. This might be ill-advised, but let's mobilize and let's raise our conscripts. And then, raising the conscripts was dumb. I don't have any money. I can't bring anyone in yet. Well, anyway, it'll be nice to have my conscripts raised. Let's go ahead and pause government construction for the time being. And you're low on organization because your types are goofed. Alright, that's fine. Let's bring in another leader. You're a good open terrain commander. That's a good thing to have. We'll bring you in. It's going to cost us a little bureaucracy, but that's okay. Them's the breaks. Alright. I cannot yet get skirmish infantry, so we'll put this army on defense for the time being. Is organization going up? No, from too many special units. Well, why don't you recruit your infantry? Why don't you recruit your infantry? They're recruiting all their artillery. Oh my gosh. This is despicable. Alright. I can't sway them in. I don't have anything I can offer them. Well, that's disappointing. Now, if I add my war goals, I can add return state war goals on Eastern and Western Serbia. They want regime change and to reduce my autonomy. So, I don't want to add these to primary because I don't think they're going to back down. How does that change my prospects? It mostly doesn't. Ooh. Now I can get Austria in here. So, Austria, what do you want? You want an obligation. I will absolutely offer one. And now we're in business. So, let me go ahead and add these to my primary. It's only a tiny amount of infamy. And that'll be just fine. Now the Ottomans are fearful. Do I want to add a conquer war goal on Montenegro? That would be nice. That would allow me to take Bosnia basically without a fight later on. If I can take it, which I hope I can. Let's do it. Let's do it. We'll add that. I'm not going to make it primary, because I at this point it is better for me if they back down. Ottoman Empire, or Austrian Empire is sending in their battalions, as are their whole empire. And this is looking like a much better front now. So I will set my units to advance. We'll put them on pillage. Actually, no, because I'm advancing into lands I'm going to take, so I'm not going to put them on pillage. Please recruit your infantry, sir. Can you please recruit the infantry? The infantry, sir? Oh, Christ, I need to mix up my mobilization options. Ha! I'm a dumb. Alright. That's all I'm going to do for now. Because I don't have native production of any of these other resources. I could have native production of liquor, but I don't. My economy is probably borked. Oh no, I'm still in the Ottoman market. It's not going to be an issue until I'm trading through the Austrian market. In fact, in order to deal with this, let's actually build a trade center in each state. Should have done this before the war. I went in a little half-cocked on this. I'll admit that. I'll admit that. I'll be the first one to admit that, because none of you are in a position to be admitting things. I can't hear you. La 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 la. Please. There we go. There we go. There we go. We're bringing up the infantry. Beautiful. All right. Now we're not goofed on organization. And that should make things just rad. I can still technically add this to the primary, and they can still back down. I'm going to leave it. I'm not feeling as confident as I was a minute ago about these ratios. The Austrians really are not sending as large an army as I would love to have. And I don't really need to. So let's get going here. Let's commence. Alright, so now I'm short on hardwood. Hardwood, I'm short on many things. So first of all, let's grab our paper mills and put them to pulp pressing. We're still using iron tools in our tooling workshops. I don't have a local source for dyes, so I'm going to have to go to hand-sewn clothes. Which sucks, but is what it is. And let me see if I can get market access. Ooh, they'll give me support independence. That's very good. In exchange for transit rights. Alright. Well, in addition to transit rights. And that's just fine. As it is. They'll give me both of these things. Bofa? Let's do it. Oh. The Austrians have pulled Moldavia into the war. How's our first battle going? Ottoman Empire appears to be winning this smaller battle, but we're winning this bigger one. Uh-oh. No organization up front. Dang it. Supply shortage. What are they short of? Merchant Marine. Well, I can't do anything about that. I don't have any things. Any ports. It's okay, this ratio is improving. So if I can continue to take, if I can just take all these states, I'll be good to go. Easy as pie, right? I just gotta take the enemy states. As long as I've got the enemy states, they'll never win. I got corn laws. That's weird. Curious. Alright, so, Western Serbia is ours. We're losing over here, but that's okay. Our boys just need to get back into the action. We got 70% occupation of Karadag. So, if we can get that, and then we can get a hold of Eastern Serbia, we're good to go. I've got some occupation over there. Force ratio is looking good. Moldavia, oh, that front is merged out. Ah, because Wallachia is now part of the war. All right, that's okay. I should have checked to see if I could get independence. That was really the thing I should have tried to get. But this isn't so bad. I don't necessarily want to be in a situation where I'm breaking away from the Ottoman Empire. Anyway, I'm really effectively reducing relations with the Ottoman Empire, so that is good. Small arms shortage. That shouldn't be a thing. I'm producing my own small arms. Oh, because I don't have hardwood. I don't have hardwood. I'm dumb. I'm so dumb. Okay, hold on. Let's produce hardwood. That's going to fix that problem real fast. I can go to... Let's leave that be for now. The petite bourgeoisie petition the government. I'm going to stop government construction once again. Representing his constituents in the petite bourgeoisie, Pavel Avakumovich has issued a formal petition to the Serbian government to pass elected bureaucrats. One last matter for the day, sir. Members of your constituency arrived this morning. They're asking rather loudly and insistently if you would meet with them about new legislation. Well, is that it? Goodness, you seem as if you've seen a ghost. I'm sure I can spare the last hours of the light for them, can't I? I believe so, sir. They weren't taking no for an answer. We'll see what we can do. I can't tell them no again because that will be a big problem. So, I'm alright with elected bureaucrats. Let's do this. Stefan Stefanovich dies. Oh, curious. So there's now a traditionalist heading up the Conservative Party. Oh, interesting. We get the war bark every time we swap things around now. So that's interesting. I should have grabbed another state, but that's okay. That's okay. I've got two of the states I want right now. There's something I need to defend for the moment. Because our organization is absolute crap. We got a major supply shortage because of a shortage of import goods. And I need to deal with that. Small arms situation is quite bad. Are we able to produce small arms effectively? Okay. I'm actually gonna... do I subsidize? Let me wait. Let me wait and see if they're able to handle... Okay, alright. So now they're producing... They're producing more and more small arms. I'm actually gonna subsidize this building. It's quite risky financially, but it'll get the amount of small arms in the market going, and that's what we need. Law progressed to drafting. Well, that's very good. Now, artillery foundry. You also need to be subsidized because you are also not producing a sufficiency of artillery. I don't have another method for either of these buildings. So they'll just have to be doing what they're doing, and it's going to have to cost the government money. Alright, so that has also made this ratio significantly better. I'm going to continue to defend for the time being. But we are moving forward in Eastern Serbia. And once we've got Eastern Serbia, I should be good to go. The enemy will be out of war support protection, and I will be a happy cat with the ability to simply win my war. No one else has any war goals, so I can simply wait them out. Alright, the end of spring. We've got the corn laws now, and I'm going to read you that so that you can see what's going on with those corn laws. But first, the end of spring. We're going to see this event a bunch. It currently procs whenever anyone finishes out the Springtime of the Peoples event chain. So I'm gonna read this to you, but we're gonna see this event a bunch of times. I'm only gonna read it to you this first time, and once we've seen the Springtime of the Peoples, this is gonna make a whole lot more sense. Before I do that, let me take a sip of water. The international trend of radical thought and revolutionary sentiments is coming to an end. Perhaps it is too early for us to agree whether our attempts ended in success or failure. I would like to believe we have set in motion forces which will continue to advance our goals long after the fires of this era have gone out. Sorry, I'm just managing my water situation. Refilling my bottle of water, my delicious water that I need for living. The world is changing. The journal entry, Springtime of the Peoples, disappears from all nations. So, it's at least disappeared from some nation, that's for dang sure. No bread, no freedom. So this is appearing because of the corn laws. The corn laws. Our prohibitive import tax on grains acts as a strong protectionist policy for the interests of the landowning class and will cause an upheaval if removed. Will complete if Serbia has enacted any variant of free trade. If completed, triggers the event end of the corn laws. Landowners gets repealed corn laws for 10 years. Reduce interest group approval by 5. So by a lot. And 10% of labor or pops become more loyalist. No bread, no freedom. Our prohibitive import tax on cereal grains has made it difficult for the poor to afford bread, with people in western Serbia approaching the starvation line. Yeah, it's not great. They say the tariffs are in place to protect every Serb farmer from falling wages and starvation. Without them, the markets would be flooded with bread we'd be too poor to buy. So that I say to hell with the tariffs. I am already starving. At least without them, there might be bread a starving man could steal. The poor, too, must reap the benefits of our policies, extra minimum wage, or they must bear with it for the economy. Lower certain pops become more radical. I'm definitely going to go with the first one. And we'll see how things go. Come on, get me Eastern Serbia. Gimme. Oh my goodness. Discord within the industrialists. An influential faction within the industrialists has grown frustrated with their co-members' neutrality on the topic of elected bureaucrats. Themselves in favor of the law, they've now resolved to form a separate political faction intent on passing it. How long can you all stand idly by and watch the world pass before your eyes? Have you no sense of honor, of duty to your fellow man? I say nay to such lack of ambition, and I dare say I'm not alone in this. With their support, the bill shall pass, extra enactment chance, slightly weaker industrialists, or the petite bourgeoisie extend an open hand to these mavericks, smaller increase to enactment chance, larger reduction to industrialist strength, stronger petite bourgeoisie. I'm going to go with the first one. I don't necessarily want to favor the petite bourgeoisie over the industrialists at this time. We are building up organization over here. We are winning a battle. Excellent. We are moving into Eastern Serbia. We've got significant amounts of occupation. I feel like we're underselling this a little bit because Transylvania occupies some. Well, that's curious. Transylvania. Oh no, Transylvania is on our side. All right, never mind. I got it. I'm picking up what you're putting down. Well, hopefully, there we go. Beautiful. All right, so with us holding everything, the Ottoman Empire must simply be pushed to capitulate. They're going to lose 4 war support per week, which means it's just a few more weeks. I'm going to leave my forces on defense. I don't want to get creative here. I don't need to get creative here. All of that will be well, and I will be pleased. So very pleased. So yeah, score 1 for the Serbian National Militia. And of course, a whole shit ton of German troops from Austria and her subject states. Mistria. Oh no, this is Austria. Nope, I'm just bad at reading. This isn't Mistria. I've just... Hey, excellent. 64%. Wonderful. Just wonderful. Let's take a quick look at casualties. On our side, the dead number... the dead and wounded 150,000 total, of which looks like for dead 8,000 for me, and for wounded about 18,000. So yeah, I'm feeling pretty good about that. Ottomans have lost a lot more. And yeah, for now I'm simply holding out until the Ottomans are ready to allow me to take my natural territory, to assume my natural borders. At this point, taking Bosnia will be extremely easy. And the Austrians have a truce with the Ottomans at the same time as we do, so hopefully they won't be able to sneak in and snag that. And this should be enough. Give me all your giblets. Wonderful. So, the Ottoman Empire has been humiliated, but more importantly, we've united Eastern Serbia and Western Serbia under the Serbian crown. This has put us at a shortage of bureaucracy, which is fine. Just fine. Nothing to fear, except fear itself and not having enough bureaucracy. I'm going to build my first government building. And we'll use filing cabinets there. We'll do secular administration. And now, have I become independent? No, I have not. Alright, that's just fine. Let's go ahead and switch up our production methods back to what we were doing before. And now all will be well. So now, Serbia and Montenegro share a border. Montenegro needs to not be the subject of another nation, and they're not. Wait, hold up. Oh no, I need to not be the subject of another nation. Well, that's fine. I'm sure I won't be raided by the Serbs of Montenegro, will I? That'll be just fine. It'll be just fine. Austria, thank you for your assistance. I appreciate you. Let's improve relations a little bit. Dye and iron shortage. Interesting. Allow progressive voting. That's very good. And there's the percussion cap. Wonderful. Finally, I am going to construct a munitions plant in Western Serbia. Now, I'm going to I'm going to desubsidize my arms and artillery industries. It's interesting. I don't think the Ottoman Empire built almost anything. Oh, no, wait. This doesn't go here. This goes here. So this is interesting because we've actually... There's a significant increase in the population of Eastern Serbia. We got Romanians and Albanians living there. And then in Serbia and Montenegro, we've got a significant population of Albanians and Bosniaks as well. The Anti-Corn Laws League, a new figure, has risen in the ranks of the petite bourgeoisie, organizing an innovative campaign in support of abolishing the corn laws. I see in the free trade the principle that which shall act on the moral world as the principle of gravitation in the universe, drawing men together, thrusting aside the antagonism of race and creed and knowledge, and uniting us in the bonds of eternal peace. I have looked even further. I have speculated, not financially, like literally, and probably dreamt in the dim future, 1,000 years hence. I have speculated on what the effect of the triumph of this principle may be. I believe that the system will be to change the face of the world, so as to introduce a system of government entirely distinct from that which now prevails. An inspiration for our age, a petite bourgeoisie market liberal agitator will appear in Serbia, Interesting. Or rabble rising will not change this policy. A petite bourgeoisie market liberal agitator will appear in Serbia. 10% of aristocrats' pops become more loyalist. Actually, this is good. Danilo Sijan, the market liberal, becomes less popular. I'm going to pick the first one. And here's what I'm going to do. Wow, we've got a lot of radicals now. We got a lot of radicals, and our finances are borked. But they'll be doing better once we're doing governance properly. I feel much better to be now ruling a stonking thick Serbia. So what's in Montenegro? I need to build up. Ooh, I've got coast. I've got coast. This is wonderful. So we'll probably need to build a coal mine and some logging camps. You can't go wrong with coal and logging. Market's doing a lot better. There's our government building built. So that should provide enough bureaucracy for us to be sorted out here. Let's go with those. Just making sure our production methods are fixed up. And we now have elected bureaucrats. That's wonderful. Government petition has been completed. Excuse me. Interesting. The Ottoman Empire wants to return. Wants to get Montenegro from Montenegro, but Montenegro wants Bosna. They're willing to make an offer to us. Isn't this bad? Aren't you toast? What's the offer? Independence. But isn't the only way you can win this isn't the only way you can win this if I'm not in? Oh, but they can pull me in. They can pull me in because I'm a protectorate. Interesting. Very interesting. I hate to throw my fellow Serbs under the bus here. Because I don't think I can win another war with the Ottomans without help. 26 battalions, that's not that much, though. Hold on, what's their total number of battalions? 89. 89, and I don't have a military advantage. But I could. I'm going to give it a shot. This might be a total mistake. But let's try it. This, of course, means I must mobilize and raise my conscripts. Those are doable numbers. Those are doable numbers. Wow. They've got a lot of fellas. I really hope you can get someone else who can help with this, because I don't feel confident at all that I can do it myself. Obviously, there's a shortage of munitions, and I can't do anything about that. But when the time comes, I'll be able to import munitions from Hungary and from the Austrians, and that'll be just fine. I'm now experiencing a shortage of bureaucracy once again. Let's build our first Okay, hang on. I've got some authority. So first things first, let's get a government sector here. We'll throw that in the top of the queue. Second, that'll fix our bureaucracy situation. Second, let's start working on enlistment efforts in our states. And unfortunately, I'm going to have to cut my road maintenance effort here to get enlistment efforts going here as well. And let's go buck wild. With conscription. So, that's 15 battalions. And we'll do a couple more of artillery. And one more of cavalry. And we're going to see how this goes. Once the war starts, I'm going to be able to start subsidizing my arms and artillery industries once again. Once the war starts and I'm free of the Ottoman market, I'm going to be able to import arms and artillery. Training pays off. Our extra trainings seem to pay off. Troops in eastern Serbia have put their training to use and learned some new tactics that might help us should we find ourselves at war, which we very well might. Our soldiers are the best in the world. The defenders of our nation have and always will be challenged in their skill and professionalism. This only proves us right. Keep it to themselves. 10% extra offense and defense for 10 years. That's really, really good. I don't think I can win this without being a nut. So we're just going to be a nut. We're going sicko mode, friends. It's fight time. We're going to get scrappy with the Ottomans, and we're going to do it properly. Now we're going to start by being on the defensive. We're going to solve our supply problems as they come. Okay, well, I guess we don't need this government sector, so we won't build it. We'll leave it almost built, though, you know, just in case. That having said, I'm going to pause government construction because I need to save the money. How much am I going to require for my barracks? 4 munitions on this side. 10 munitions on this side. Alright, so Eastern Serbia is going to need actually a second trade center. So I am going to need to build that. That's going to be 11 weeks. Oh, this is going to... I might never recover from this financially, but that's okay. I might... Ooh. Oh, these numbers look much worse. Much worse. They're bringing in another army. Gosh dang it. Why do they keep having those? It's okay. We'll stay on defense. We'll bring in what we need to bring in. Grain. We'll stop taxing imports. And munitions. I'm going to subvene imports. Small arms, I'm going to stop taxing imports for the time being. And we're going to see how that does us. Artillery Foundry is continuing to improve. Arms industry is continuing to employ. So as long as those continue to grow in employment, we should be good to go. We are losing some battles on defense. Oh, no, we're winning this one. We're winning this one. We're losing this one. We're losing this one. So, I'm hoping for hope. So how do I bring in How do I bring in more munitions? I don't know that I can. So this is going to have to be done completely through hope. Well, I'm building another trade center, so that's gonna hopefully right the ship here. Harvest conditions started, okay. We are losing some battles. Montenegro, I think you might have fucked us. Alright, my cash flow is doing alright. Organization is a little bit of a fuck. I don't have any choice. I'm gonna have to increase... I'm gonna have to bring in more fellas. That's the only way this happens. Is if I increase my fellas. Oh boy, Montenegro's borked us. Montenegro's borked us. Oh, I'm gonna lose Montenegro. Oh, this is bad. Oh, this is real bad. I shouldn't have joined this war. Friends, I beefed it. I grade A Kobe beefed it. That's okay. These things happen. I'm going to lose Montenegro, but I'm going to keep Western and Eastern Serbia. And so hopefully things won't be too bad in that way. How's casualties? I'm going to have taken a lot of casualties on this. You know, not as many, actually, truth be told. Like, a significant amount, but not an irresolvable issue. All told. How's occupation in Montenegro? The Ottomans have got 50% of it. So once we lose hold of Montenegro, that'll be the end of it. How's my war support? My war support is still good. Oh, we can't go I can't go below 0. Because the Ottoman Empire hasn't actually taken Montenegro yet. They're actually over occupying Western Serbia, which I wish they wouldn't, because that's going to produce a bunch of devastation. And I don't love that. Yeah, things are all kind of on fire over here. But the fronts are still holding. Tool shortage. Oh man, standard of living is really getting wrecked. Okay, so now it's me against the Ottomans. Well, I'm going to hold out as much as I can. It's not going to be much. I'm probably going to have to simply accept that a white peace is not possible. It would have been nice if I could have gotten a white peace, but them's the breaks. Alright, so we just got to finish out this war. I'm going to hold to the bitter end. Though it be bitter, bitter indeed, Serbia will be returned to Ottoman dominion, and life will go on. Blooded, but not defeated, but not destroyed. Well, that ruins my shot at stealing the rest of Montenegro easily. And I am now at the point where I'm losing war support steadily. We will resist to the bitter end, as is our custom. I'm going to unpause government construction because I need to get the economy growing again. And I guess these buildings I queued up in Montenegro are not going to matter because we don't hold that territory anymore. Montenegro, I can't believe it. How could you do this to me? Alright, so they've achieved full occupation. That typically means the war automatically ends. Yeah, well, I'll hold out for another week or two. I've got a little bit longer to go. So I'll hold out. It's gonna cost them more than it's gonna cost me. And that's the end of the war. Against the odds. Despite not enjoying full rights under Serbian law, some wealthier Turkish peoples have begun to move into neighborhoods and frequenting establishments they would normally be excluded from. If we want our children to have a future, this is where we should raise them, he said, and want them to be somewhere safe. She crossed her arms. Have you seen the looks we get? When people talk about safe, they don't mean safe for us, they mean safe from us. It means new regulations to keep the peace, extra radicalism from discriminated pops, 2% of Turkish pops in Serbia become more radical, or they've fairly earned their success with all that implies. Weaker and angrier petite bourgeoisie, 2% of Turkish pops in Serbia become more loyalist. I'm going to click the first one. The Turks are currently... They've been in occupation of the country for some time, and I'm not necessarily going to simply cater to their needs. And, you know, recognizing that that's not really the ethical thing to do. There's still just regular people living in our country, the people we're talking about here, but, you know. Alright, I'm going to go to road maintenance. That's going to make us build a lot faster. And we're going to try to get a munitions plant as soon as we can, because things are goofy. These notifications can't seem to clear correctly, which is not ideal. We have dye and ammunition shortages, which is fine. We've got low organization in the army, which is what it is. The only way to fix that is going to be to build up our fertilizer plants, then our explosives factories, then our munitions plants. How much interest are we paying? 300. That's not ideal. How much are we in the hole? 155. Also not ideal. Got a lot of bureaucracy kicking around. So I'm going to close out this government admin because we don't need them. That wasn't supposed to have happened. What the heck? Am I crazy? That's not the amount I was short by at all. Hold on. How much bureaucracy do these produce? 50. Well, I may be stupid, but that's okay. It's late at night, so you know, I'm not at my best. Let's throw a consumption tax in there and try to right the ship on cash flow. How can I get a little bit more? I guess tea is simply the most efficient. I guess the country is a lot more, a lot larger. We are hiring into this government administration positions. Let's go ahead and halt our subsidies for the arms and artillery industries, because I don't need those anymore. That's going to save the government a little bit of cash. Come on, give me better government admin. Alright, beautiful. It looks like they're hiring, so that's good. Obviously, we're still short on ammo, but again, we're working to fix that problem. So overall, cash flow is doing okay. A grain of power. The corn laws, or taxes on grain imports, have afforded the landowning class a great deal of economic leverage, which they use to maintain their influence on Serbian policy. It is all well and good to debate economic theory, but we must not turn our eyes away from the reality that theory produces. The promises of the corn laws that they would protect the interests of Serbia ring increasingly hollow. Rather, they seem to protect the interests of a select few Serb citizens. One may wonder how many other laws are the same. Every country needs an aristocracy to rule its lessers. Increased political strength of bureaucrats, 10% of aristocrat pops become more loyal, or a troubling development, increased political strength of aristocrats. I'm just going to do the second one. Loyalism is bad, but getting better. Minting, that's good. That's going to improve our cash flow situation significantly. It's reduced our interest payments, which, again, I thought was going to make our bottom line a little better. It turns out not this time, but them's the breaks. We now have psychiatry spreading. I guess that's nice. What do we have spreading in production? Canneries. Canneries is good. Work on the apple pump engine. After that, it's nationalism. And that's going to be really important for us. Cash flow is bad. Suppose I could raise taxes a little bit. I don't love doing that, though. Generally speaking, I don't love doing that. It's also going to increase the minimum expected standard of living, which is not great. Okay, there's gotta be a way. What's with these notifications? Is the Ottoman market goofed? Ottoman market's a little goofed. Do we have a market access issue? We do. Oh my goodness. Because of the flood. Because of the flood. Just because of the flood? Just because of the flood. Well, that's not ideal. That's not ideal at all. And because of devastation. It's okay. Devastation will sort itself out. We're in an election cycle once again. The Liberal Party has lost some capability. It's a little bit of a shock. Oh, because I didn't put this guy in charge of the petite bourgeoisie. Well, I'm dumb. I continue to be dumb. The popularity contest. The eyes of the electorate turn to the candidates that seek to acquire a position at the head of the government. As the election approaches, voters debate who would provide the best leadership for Serbia. I quite like Teodorovic, mused one man at the bar. I couldn't say what it is I agree with him on, but I think he has a good head on his shoulders. His neighbor spoke up. Enough to look past the company he keeps? Well, why not? God knows you could say the same of any of us. Nobody's better to handle a fool than his friend. Svetomir Teodorovic is the man of the hour, extra momentum for the Liberal Party. Or a term of Svetomir Vukotic Perkovic is what the country needs, extra momentum for the Conservative Party. I'm going to do the first one. Because again, I want to keep the Liberal Party with an ability to win. They seem to have really, really low momentum at this time. I'm not sure why. But them's the breaks. I need more infrastructure and I have no way to get it. Unless, of course, one of my investors invests in me. But that's always a dicey proposition, relying on investors. Bureaucracy is going okay. Authorial intent. A minor scandal has buzzed around the Liberal Party as a piece of reformist fiction written by Danilo Sijan in his youth has begun to circulate once more. Whilst enthusiastically written, that is the work's only merit. The plague of superstition and dogma was the end of Serbia? If it is so, why are the trains still running? How could they possibly have acquired the coal to fuel it? Your propensity to butcher your characters for cheap tragedy is nothing short of shameful. And to make matters worse, why would Victor ever not pursue Estrid's affections when they have known each other for so long? Do you have no eye for redeeming romance? A tragic tale, but there's no reason to harass him. Minus 20% momentum for the Liberal Party. Or this is Danilo Sijan's problem, not the party's. Minus 10% momentum instead of 20%, and he loses some popularity. You know I'm going to go with that second one, because I want to get them to be a little bit stronger. Corn laws are eventually going to be good for me. So do I have the ability to put this guy in charge of the party? I can. So maybe next election cycle I'll do that. And that will help things out. Momentum hasn't changed that much. Or projected election results haven't changed that much. Okay, so this time, realistically, I might be able to cut a little bit of bureaucracy. But I don't think so. I don't think so. So, how's my population situation? It was up for a while, then it went down, but not by as much. And that's just because of Karadag. The Ottoman Empire took back Montenegro. Those absolute bastards. I am paying quite a bit in interest and quite a bit in subventions. Let's go ahead and remove any subventions that I had placed, because I no longer need the... Oh, I can't do it for another... Only the market owner can set subventions. Well, okay, so that's not going to be really a factor at all. Well, why am I paying subventions? Hold on, what am I subvening? Dyes. You're the Ottoman Empire. You can make dyes. Open markets. The high price on clothes have become a prominent talking point in the liberal election campaign, arguing that their free trade policies would drive down the price. Don't be fooled. Trade restrictions are not called protectionism because they protect you. They protect a select few profiteers, not from starvation or poverty, but from competition. They protect them from the world. They'd have you think you are safer with a Serb boot on your neck than you would be free. It's time to stop protecting them. This is the age of the global market. Extra momentum for the liberals. Or our current policies are needed to keep the economy stable. Extra momentum for the conservatives. I'm going to say this is the age of the global market. That's going to increase the strength of the Liberal Party significantly, actually. They're down to about the same level of momentum. So this is the actual balance. Now, if I put the liberal guy in charge of the petite bourgeoisie before the next election cycle, they'll change. They'll change over to the other side, and that'll be that. So do I stop to deal with my national debt? My national debt is significant, but I want to get these plants built first, because that's a matter of national security, is what it really is. My liberty desire is still high, because I'm getting a support independence from both Austria and Russia at this stage. I wonder if now Russia would be interested in an alliance. Still no. Dang. Even though I'm doing so good at developing my my situation. So we're having a market access issue, and that market access issue... Oh no, it's sorting itself out even now as we speak. Alright, beautiful. So the question I need to ask myself... Uh-oh. 1 second, I got a big sneeze. I didn't sneeze. It didn't happen. Alright, so... I could form a legitimate government out of the liberal, the intelligentsia and the industrialists. So that's an interesting prospect. So, if I did that, what would I want to change? I would want to go to interventionism. Probably. Let's take a look at my balance of industry. I got a lot of coal mines. Still got quite a few farms and livestock ranches, though. Got quite a bit of industry. Let's take a quick look at the census. So in terms of aristocrats and capitalists, I've still got about double aristocrats compared to capitalists. But building up industry is generally better than building up agriculture. If I go to interventionism, that does make the landowners and rural folk salty. Well, maybe that's something I can keep in the back pocket. Laissez-faire is going to be even harder. But neither of those interest groups will be too upset. So, we'll make you the leader of the petite bourgeoisie. Then we'll swap over to these other fellas. And then we'll do ourselves an interventionism. And everyone will be pleased with this, and nobody will be mad. Path to liberalism completed. Freedom, equality, and brotherhood. I didn't even know I had that objective. The intelligentsia, under the leadership of Stepan Apostolowicz, has ushered in an era of liberal politics that promises a freer society where all citizens have a part in the political process. You will find many ideologues who claim to represent the will of the people, but who silence its voice when it cries out in opposition to their policies. Not we. We will remove the people's shackles one by one until they are freed of the yoke of the past. Only then can we see what the will of the people truly is and let it shape the future. Apostolowicz is a fearless revolutionary. He's the leader of the intelligentsia. He gets extra popularity. Our political leaders will be wise to follow this trend. Svetomir Teodorovich will become a radical. Okay, you don't necessarily want that. Perhaps the voice of reason is needed before this gets too radical. Svetomir Teodorovich will become a reformer. So he would allow us to get compulsory primary school and right to associate. Both of those would be useful to me. But I haven't discovered all that much yet. On the other hand, that would remove a barrier to... But... I'm just going to say perhaps a voice of reason is needed, because I think having a reformer, it's not bad to have him as a reformer. I can still do this. I've got a tiny stall chance now. But this shouldn't prove too big of a deal. The landowners are still basically happy with the state of the country. And they're getting happier, which is nice. I've got quite a pot full of radicals. But, again, hopefully we'll have that going down. Oh, the radicals chart broke now. Dang it. Well, them's the breaks. Alright. A little more than a year for this explosives factory. So that's going to be a minute. Gottfried Aldinger. A radical aligned with the trade unions. Dang. Alright, so, corn laws, and I can't do anything about these corn laws. The only thing I can do to deal with them is enact free trade. Well, I guess that's what I'm going to have to do. Well, not necessarily. I can get market liberals into my landowners for a while, and that'd be interesting. It's interesting. So I'm hoping that with the petite bourgeoisie in the hands of a market liberal, that they'll defect over to the Liberal Party, and we'll be able to form a really rock-solid coalition. I still got a strong Yugoslav national movement that I'm bolstering, and have been bolstering for some time. They can cause obstinance. Let's hope they don't. I'm also thinking about instituting some government education, seeing as I got bureaucracy. And a little bit of money to pay for a little bit more bureaucracy. Although, of course, it sure would be nice to get my national debt reduced. But I don't have to do that. It's fine. It's chill. It's chill and fine. Fine and chill, chill and fine. That's what's going on in Serbia. We're chilling and fining. I've got an authority shortage now, which is unfortunate. What has caused this? I'm not sure. Ooh, law debate success, 29%. That's excellent. I don't think that's actually causing anything meaningful. In terms of research, we're almost at the Atmo pump engine, and that's going to be a huge benefit. Getting another tooling workshop built, this one in eastern Serbia, and that's also going to be good. We've hit position 30. We're doing rock solid on GDP, which I'm very, very pleased with, and we're closing in on interventionism. Interventionism will be really nice. I don't want to go to laissez-faire in this run. We're going for potentially a mixed economy approach. So while we're talking about that, I'm just going to make sure that my buildings are largely privately owned. Ooh, canneries. Yes, looks like. Let's start canning meat to produce some extra groceries. So some of my financial districts in Western Serbia are, or some of my tooling workshops in Western Serbia are nationally owned. I'm going to privatize them, and they've become privatized. Beautiful. So that's really knocked out a ton of our debt, and that's good. Because this is the sort of industry, industrial buildings, in my thinking, should be privately owned. Now, fertilizer plants in eastern Serbia, another thing that could easily be privately owned. Also, private ownership improves, makes them better, improves their throughput modifiers, which matter when we start getting a lot of levels. So let's go ahead and hit privatize. And that's filled us with a barrel full of cash. So that's good. That basically sells the thing directly to the investment pool. Explosives factories will probably privatize those, but the arms and artillery foundries I'm going to leave in the hands of the government for now. We've got some iron mines that are government owned, which I could also sell to the free market. Yeah, subject to economy of scale events. Rousing speech captivates the public. This afternoon, Svetomir Teodorovic, leader of the industrialists, delivered a fiery speech advocating for the enactment of interventionism. Making an appearance before the public in Belgrade's main square, Svetomir Teodorovic's powerful rhetoric left even his most embittered political opponents impressed. Excerpts from the speech are already being circulated across Serbia, fanning the fires of an already roaring debate. This should ease the path to reform greatly, 15% enactment chance, or performances like this reflect well on Svetomir Teodorovic and his cause. 10% enactment chance, 25% popularity for Svetomir, and 5% stronger industrialists. I'm going to go with the second one. I want to give the industrialists more strength where I can. I'm also going to privatize these. I'm going to privatize the trade centers at least. I'm going to allow them to be purchased on the open market. I don't know if they're going to be. But we're going to allow them to be because... Beautiful. I think that's something that can afford to be privately owned. Alright, let's grab these iron mines and swap them over to Atmo pump engines. That's going to make them way, way more profitable. And that's going to put more iron in the market, which is going to cause huge profit flow into Serbia, and that is really important. Do I privatize these? I think I do. Yeah, I think I do. Can't hire. Why can't you hire? Why don't you hire? Jeepers. Interesting. Some of my mines are owned by Russian companies, which makes sense. Alright, these mines are privatizing. That's good. How much money do we get for privatizing mines? 100k. Alright, beautiful. The atmospheric engine. Through the widespread introduction of the atmospheric engine in the mining industry, productivity is at an all-time high. When steam first began to pump and wheels go round at so many revolutions per minute, what are called business habits were intended to make the life of man run in harmony with the steam engine, and his movement rival the engine in punctuality. I'm sure we can squeeze a little more from these machines, extra mines throughput. This has great implications for transport, extra tech progress for railways, or perhaps there's an even better way, extra tech progress for water tube boiler. Let's go with tech progress for railways. Much as I would love the throughput bonus, I need innovation, and I need it bad. These mines are having a hard time hiring because tools are expensive. Tooling workshops are still... I need to get these tooling workshops over to steel, over the steel method. So, let's go ahead and build ourselves a steel mill. We'll queue in a steel mill here. We'll have the only steel mill in the whole Ottoman block. I also want to increase... I've got a little bit of cash extra, so I think it's time to increase the size of the construction sector. And I'm actually going to do that first, because that's going to increase my construction speed of everything else I'm trying to build. Hey, we're in drafting for interventionism. That's wonderful. That's just wonderful. Really pleased about that. So good. I had the ability to rival the Ionian Islands one time, way back in the day. That was funny. So I'm hoping this will really kickstart the growth of my my economy. Because I've got the iron, I've got the coal, and I'm slowly acquiring the ability to produce the necessary explosives and munitions plants to function. It's all just a matter of getting that going. I've really got a lot of cash in my investment pool. It seems a little silly, the amount, actually, to be completely honest with you. I think I might want to increase the construction sector further once I've got my steel mills built. Because then I can start producing more tools. Because the Ottoman Empire really has a tools... The Ottoman market really has a tools problem. Tools are very expensive. We're importing all our own coffee, but soon we'll be producing our own munitions, and that'll be important. Iron remains crazy expensive, and furniture remains extremely expensive. Private sector is building a bunch of food industries in eastern Serbia, which is good. There we go. Alright, so that's put our cash balance at a much more comfortable level. I still got a little bureaucracy. Let's increase policing. No, not too much, because I want to be able to afford to get some education. Once I'm done with going to interventionism, I'll get myself some education, because I know the intelligentsia do love education, and if I can get education up, that'll be really, really, really nice. That'll be good for my everythings. Extra literacy will help my national awakenings and stuff like that. And speaking of which, 32 months to nationalism, and that will be just fine. I'll be very pleased. I'm already thinking about building another university. I'm spending quite a bit on universities, though. Law progressed to voting. Here we go. Come on. Give me the money. Give me the money. Britain's changing governorships in a lot of different areas. Which, you know, I don't love, but them's the breaks. Can't believe it. I can't believe Montenegro sacrificed themselves and my interests on the altar of this situation. I am above 90 liberty desires, so I can wage a war for independence now. Not now, though, because because right now I've got a truce, and it's going to last a long time, and I'm going to need help from Austria and other people before I am able to do that successfully. Preferably the Russians. I would love to have the help of the Russians, really. Because Russia is a massive empire. They can definitely take the Ottomans in a fight. I know, because we've seen them do it before. Alright, explosives factory is built. Explosives are unfortunately extremely cheap in our market, but as soon as we're producing our own munitions, that will cease to be the case, and that will be fine. Can I change... Well, no, I can't change trade policy because I'm not the head of my market. Landowners are no longer powerful. Wow. That's exciting. That's exciting. The industrialists are getting stronger. Have I... Actually, Atmel Pump Engine for coal mines, don't mind if I do. Lead mines, we'll do the same for them. We don't actually need more lead, but... them's the breaks. Alright, beautiful. Yes, here we go. So we've sold some of our... quite a few of our national iron mines to our capitalists, and that has got them bringing in significantly more profit, which is very good. I think I'm going to cancel encouragement of the agricultural industries and encourage... Oh, I'm short on authority. Well, that was dumb. That's okay, though. The consumption tax is giving us quite a bit of cash. And there's interventionism. Wonderful. Oh, what a shame. I robbed myself of authority. If I paid government wages a little bit more, I would get a little bit more authority. It's enough! Oh my gosh. We're authority maxing. Alright, so... and now I will increase... I'll start encouraging resource industry in Eastern Serbia as well, because Eastern Serbia has, for resource industry, 3 levels of coal mines, some logging camps, and some lead mines, and that's all real good. Our leader of the rural folk has left his position, and that means we've got a royalist, Dragan Marek, in that position instead. So, let's look at education. Let's go for some public education. This is going to make the Orthodox Church pretty mad, but it's going to be great for everyone else. I'm actually going to move... I'm going to cancel the increasing of law enforcement because I'm going to need all that bureaucracy for education. And that's going to be really good. That's going to be really good overall. In fact, I think it might be time to build ourselves one level of construction sector in Eastern Serbia as well. And that will make our construction much more efficient and be able to use more and more of our increasingly ballooning investment pool, because that's really the thing that's making us... Ooh, lost a movement. A peasant movement. Oh, that's wild. Petite bourgeoisie are now powerful. Hell yeah. That's wonderful. That's actually really, really good, because once we've got education running, we'll be able to... they've given us more bureaucracy now, so once we've got education running, we'll be able to have a real spike in literacy, and that will be just wonderful. I would love that. Mesquitia changes governors. That's not bad. And I don't actually need to keep requesting more requesting control of my market, because my liberty desire is high enough. That's nice. So my next move, I think, is try to get independence. And if I can get... What's the population of Kosovo like? They've got a lot of Albanians. Albanians are not particularly well accepted under Serbian law. Bulgarians are treated okay. Serbians... Right. in Bosnia are our primary culture. What about Bosniaks? Bosniaks are at 70. Alright, so I definitely need Karadog and Bosnia. And then maybe I'll start expanding. Maybe I'll grab Macedonia and start moving east to grab these Bulgarian territories. And we'll kind of see how things go from there. Albanians have their own heritage group. But if I'm able to form Yugoslavia, which I might be able to do, that will make... I need 9 state regions. Serbian, Croatian, Slovene, Bosniak, and Bulgarian. So that'll put all of them at primary cultures. And... so Bosniak has the Rumelian tradition. Under National Supremacy, come on. Hey, let me read the things. You get, if you don't share a language trait group, or if you share only a language trait. Hold on. Let me just look at this, okay? Albanians are heritage Albanian, trait group European, language Albanian, trait group Albanic. Okay, so they're getting 20 from a heritage trait group, European, and -5 from no shared language trait group. If we get... they do have the Rumelian tradition, which the Bosniak people share. So if we get Bosniak as a primary culture, that'll give them an additional 15, the Albanians, which will bring them up to 30. They'll get a little bit extra for living in their homeland. And then, the Albanians are almost completely Sunni. Oh, interesting. Okay, so I don't necessarily want to take this territory, because these are people who can't live as free South Serbs in Serbia, because they have the cultural differences between Serbia and between the Serbian the current Serbian peoples and the future Serbian peoples and them are too great, which is okay. That's okay. I'm allowed to have limits to my expansion. So, there we go, 55%. So I got 2 states right now. If I get Montenegro and Bosnia, that's 4. If I snag Macedonia, northern Bulgaria, southern Bulgaria, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 5. That'll put me at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 regions. Now, what about Western Thrace? Western Thrace is mostly Greek. Why is this Macedonia? That's weird. I see the issue. Oh, but I'm also... these don't count as Yugoslav regions either. Because the de jure Yugoslavia is... well, hold on. It's right there. Yeah, is only this area. So, unfortunately, I may need to take Kosovo as well. Depending on how things go with Austria and Hungary and all them, I might... Austria might not be allies much longer. That said, now that we're producing... we're getting to the point of producing our own munitions plants, and once that's ready to go, we'll be just stupendous. We'll be doing just fantastic. That will be very, very good for our overall situation, because we'll be able to support our own skirmish infantry, and that'll be wonderful. We're running on the edge of our... law progressed to voting. Excellent. On the edge of our infrastructure needs here. So I think once we finish with nationalism and dialectics, I'm going to circle back here and snag railways. We got nitro spreading, which is very, very good. So I think from here, I want to build a university in eastern Serbia. And I think another in western Serbia. I think that's the play at the moment. Cash flow's a little tight, but I think I can live with that. We are bringing in a lot of money overall. Power of the purse, very nice. Not that that's super duper useful at present, but it's still good to have. Fertilizer plants are still down bad a little bit, but now that we've got munitions plants running, we'll be able to do stuff. Can I form a company? I don't. I can't. My businesses are simply not high enough level. That's a shame. That's a real shame. Let me see. I would love to be producing designer clothes. High-powered small arms would also be nice, but hard to keep those industries productive. Supply consumption is nice. Manufacturing industry's throughput is absurd, and I'm close to being able to form the combined Serb Metalworks company. That's bananas. I might do it. Oh, we can't establish companies. Wonder if it's because we're a protectorate. Can-do attitude. Soldiers are complaining that they have no way to open their canned food. Sure, the food's a bit better, but what's the point if we can't get it, eh? Some lads use rocks, others knives. The only reliable thing is how bloody annoying it is to eat. Spend some money to develop a way, 400 in government expenses, or they'll figure it out. Armed forces salty. I'm going to go with the second one. It's not ideal, but it is what it is. An exile at the gates. The relatively lenient Serb immigration system has long been attractive to those fleeing their home nations. Recently, Antun Harambajit has petitioned to join the stream of people moving to Serbia. It was one name on a very, very long list, one that had passed through multiple layers of bureaucracy before being noticed. One fateful day, however, one clerk at the end of his shift pointed at that name and spoke those fatal words. I could swear I've heard of him before. Eventually he too will be a Serb, or we will not have someone like this regardless of president, salty industrialists. What does he offer? He's a land reformer aligned with the petite bourgeoisie. Sure, we'll bring him in. Land reform is something that I'm not unhappy about. Beautiful. Excellent. So now, let's increase education. We've only got 2 levels of education available. That's okay. Still can't do a health system. Could do some social security. This might cost the government money, but not that much. Can't do protectionism yet because no one in my government would prefer it. Now, I could go to racial segregation already. That would irritate my petite bourgeoisie. But it's vital for my long-term success. Plus, racial segregation is pretty good to lock in. So, under National Supremacy, if I go to racial segregation, it's reduced acceptance from no shared heritage traits, which is fine. And it's extra acceptance from a tradition trait, and extra acceptance from a heritage trait by quite a bit. On the other hand, I don't necessarily want to go there too soon, because I'm staying in my, I'm still in my traditional period. Now, I could go from anti-strike laws to right to associate. That would make my petite bourgeoisie and my landowners unhappy and my trade unionists happy. Who likes this? My industrialists. Interesting. So this would make my trade unions stronger, reduce radicals from political movements, increase labor movement pop attraction. Interesting. Really interesting. So this would defang my communists. But I don't need to worry about that right now, so I think I'll leave that be. see. Don't want to separate church and state, because I want to hold to our traditions. I would love to go to protectionism, but that's not in the cards. They might make me do free trade. Would not be ideal, but them's the breaks. Before we build up too much more stuff, I'll probably do one more level of iron mines before we do the universities, just to give us a little bit of a buffer cash-wise. Spread thin. The limited political resources of the armed forces have made the group's leadership question its membership in both the Serb Brotherhood and the Serb-Russian Fellowship. And for office supplies, on average, the auditor turned to page the relevant entry and ran his eyes down the column. 300 crowns per month. For the man who sat across from him, the world was beginning to spin. You're certain? And 1,200 for work-related travel expenses. Excuse me, he managed. Could I have a copy of the manifest? I need to discuss this with my colleagues at once. There's no reason to remain in the Serb Brotherhood. Membership in the Serb-Russian Fellowship is no longer useful, or abandoning either would be unwise. Weaker armed forces. I'm going to weaken the armed forces this time, and we'll see how that goes in the next election. So the next election is in 53. It was pretty soon. It's only a year from now. Austria is fighting Prussia, which is not great for me. I'm swiftly reaching my point where I could go after the Ottomans once again. The only truce they've got left is with me, and that's for another year. So maybe right after my next election, I'll take the fight to them and see if I can get the Russians and the Austrians to help me out. And if I can, then that will be just dandy, and I'll be very pleased. So, yeah, and that's the priority for the short term. Because once I've gotten myself free of the Ottoman Empire, things will be chill. What's Wallachhia's primary culture? Wallachhia's primary culture is Romanian. Romanians are actually Eastern Romance language. They are a European heritage people, but they're Eastern Romance. So, might be interesting to look into whether or not taking over this territory is useful. Their military is a little bit worse than mine, but only a little bit. I'm not head and shoulders above them, certainly. With my national militia functioning as it does. Yeah, getting a hold of Montenegro and Kosovo and Bosnia are definitely priorities. Again, I don't love taking over Kosovo because Albanians are kind of down bad in my country. Oh, plus 40 from Homeland. Oh, but that's only because of subjecthood. Yeah, 30 extra acceptance from Homeland. They normally only get 10. So the path to forming Yugoslavia is actually going to go through... yeah, we're going to need to go after Hungary. So we're just going to have to kind of look and see how things go with the Austrian Empire. Because if Austria, depending on how things go, we might, these areas might break off from the Austrians, and that would be just dandy for me. And until then, we'll see. Perhaps getting an alliance with the Prussians would allow us to break away from some territory from these other states. Obviously, Croatia-Slavonia is a primary factor in all this. How much of Montenegro is Austria holding? Not much. That surely would be nice. Something showed up there and I missed it, because I'm a big Dumb doof. I guess we'll never know. Let's take a quick look at our stuff here. It's still looking basically good. I live in terror when I run on National Militia of being a country with... Oh, it's just the notifications. I live in terror of being a country that is experiencing a shortage in organization due to my things not mobilizing properly. Alright, so now we have a free trade party. Let's take a quick look. Let's take a look at the elections in a minute, and then we'll be able to see how things are going. Alright, so the Liberal Party... Okay, so the Free Trade Party and the Liberal Party have broken up. The Conservative Party have lost the Petite Bourgeoisie. And the trade unions are going to join the... I see. So it's the Petite Bourgeoisie in the Free Trade Party and the trade unions in the Liberal Party. Alright, this is good. Fruitful endorsements. In a gesture of solidarity with the Liberal Party, Anton Harambasic has encouraged his supporters to vote for it in the ongoing election. For the interest of all principled people, Liberal Party has a consistent record of excellence. I cannot speak higher of those brave men and women moving Serbia forwards under their name. He has our thanks, certainly. Extra momentum for the Liberals, or the endorsement would better be more specific. Extra momentum for the Liberals, and intelligentsia becomes stronger. I'm going to go with the first one. That's going to spike Liberal support. It's going to cost the Conservatives and the Free Traders some. Ideally, I want the Free Traders to be holding things down, because that's the Petite Bourgeoisie and the industrialists, and they're my kind of, what I see as my primary interest groups at present. Are we up at education level 2 yet? Not quite yet. Cash flow continues to be pretty alright. We're building some more iron mines, and hopefully that'll help. Pressing issues. Here we go. The ongoing election has drawn attention to the platforms of the various contending parties across Serbia. Across Serbia, the electorate debates which party is worth trusting with the next term in government. The first thing I take into account is the safety of my investments. If a party would represent chaos, I may safely discount it. The stockbroker tapped his cigar on the rim of the ashtray and continued. The journalist took notes as he spoke. How will the incoming government's tariff policy affect my needed imports? Do they wish to impose taxes which may spur uncertainty? Do they wish to embark upon military adventures? Would these adventures be profitable or would they be ruinous? There is much to consider. The Free Trade Party makes decisive arguments. Extra momentum for the Free Trade Party. The electorate trusts the Liberal Party. Extra momentum for the Liberal Party. The Conservative Party's policies have merit. Extra momentum for the Conservatives. I'm going to go with the Free Traders. A coalition between these two parties is not going to be possible, I don't think, reasonably, but the Free Trade Party should be able to get us what we need. If it can't, we'll simply see. I may need to hold things where they are, which would be an absolute travesty. Again, right now, I can't put them both in. Mandate expended for vassalization 2. Oh, that sucks. But that doesn't mean I'm paying. No, I'm not, because I'm a protectorate still. So that's good. So that's not impacting me really any. Which I'm feeling pretty pleased about, all told, because I would be very unhappy. Oh, I'm short on bureaucracy somehow. Well, that sucks. We'll go ahead and build ourselves another government sector in the capital, and that will get done pretty fast. Huzzah! We're actually building 2 government buildings at once, which is really, really nice. And the private construction queue is not building anything. I need to get investment rights somewhere. Sicily! My good man. Draft a treaty? I can't. Sad. Austria? What if I got investment rights in Russia? Doesn't help me. Alright, let's do mutual investment rights. And I'll take military assistance on top. Oh, not on top of that. That's not going to work. They'll say no. Well, gosh dang. Absolutely not. Can I get a law commitment? No. I wish it would just show me which categories I've got something they would like. This sucks. I need to be able to invest in someone else. That's the issue. Alright, so what is going on over here? Alright, cash flow is down really bad. Oh, right, because my private sector is not building anything. However, this government admin should be increasing employment, and that's going to be providing me with some extra bureaucracy. Undeserved blame. Some Serbian people are unfairly blaming the poor living conditions in eastern Serbia on their Ovimbundu neighbors. Ovimbundu? Southwest Bantu? How did they get over here? Population of 6,000. Interesting. They say we have taken all the jobs, that we make it impossible for them to earn a fair wage, but we suffer just as much as them. We must all learn to live together, reduce authority, or ignore it, -1 standard of living. I'm going to ignore it. Partisan papers. Party-affiliated newspapers have been proliferating during this election season. Publications associated with the Conservative Party have been particularly effective in spreading the party line. Read all about it. Honest politicians attacked by shameless cowards. Leading candidate for office issues heartwarming appeal to the common man's heart. Man on campaign trail pets puppy. Read all about it. The Conservative Party has used the papers brilliantly, some extra momentum for them. Newspaper circulation is through the roof. This is a boom for publishers, extra paper mills throughput, or it is in the state's interest to limit the spread of lies. Reduce momentum for the Conservatives. I'm going to do that third one. Reducing conservative momentum is good for my two preferred parties. Who, again, I don't think are going to be able to form a coalition together. It might have been smarter for me to throw all my weight behind the Liberal Party, but for the moment, we're just going to have to live with things as they are. Ever-increasing influence. Members of the Serb Brotherhood discreetly dispatched one of their number to amplify their mission in Serbia's most widely read newspaper. The Serb Brotherhood has calculated with utmost mastery the dissemination of materials to secure a foothold in both the political world and the public's imagination. With great satisfaction, a lobbyist comments, there is no denying that the number and reach of newspapers is ever expanding. This approach is sure to reach influential lawmakers to favor our scheme. This sets a bad precedent. Intelligentsia unhappy. Or this is ingenious. Appeasement of the Serb Brotherhood changes by +1. Serbia loses legitimacy. I'm going to say it sets a bad precedent. I'm okay with making the intelligentsia unhappy. How much longer? Okay, our truce is done. Wonderful. So if I can snag my independence movement soon. Okay, Austria has sorted their thing out, and the North German Federation has been formed. So I think once my election finishes, I think that's the end of my wait, and I can try to grab independence. Beautiful. So, how can I do? Wow, I really can't do jack all. 42 legitimacy here. Well, I may have beefed it a little bit with my election situation, and them's the breaks. But this is all right. This is all right. We got a good, solid situation here. If I put this guy in charge, how would that change my legitimacy? It doesn't say. All right, that's okay. How's things over here? We're getting extra radicals from political movements. It's not ideal, but it is what it is. So, if we do an independence demand, nobody steps in. Oh no, Russia and Austria definitely step in. Interesting. Yes, right, because they support my independence. Alright. And then I will simply snag Bosnia, Montenegro, and we'll see what I can get from this other stuff. Let's go ahead and confirm. No one there's in a ruinous war, right? Russia is in a war with China, which is not ideal. What's this war over, and how long is it going to last? They're going for a bunch of places in the Far East. And to steal Korea. We can't wait. We can't wait. The Serbian people need to be free. All right. Let's get this sorted. All right. So, I'm going to go ahead and pause government construction. I've almost got nationalism. I'm going to do railways first. And then we'll get things going, and hopefully the, Now I can add war goals. I've got 70 maneuvers, so I need Bosnia and Montenegro. Do I want to grab Macedonia as well? I really do. I really want to. Karadog is 3 points. Can I get a return war goal? I can't. I can only get a conquer war goal. So I want Karadog. And I want Bosnia. And if I add these to primary, that should be fine. I don't think anyone else is going to step in on this thing. So those two are the things I want most of all. If I can get a hold... Ooh, if I can get a hold of tuna... I can get in a very solid population. What resources are here? Only fishing and logging. It's not bad. What about here? Ooh, we got iron in Macedonia. Ooh, I think I gotta grab Macedonia as well. Hopefully this doesn't backfire. Oh, it's 18 infamy. No, I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait. Let's go ahead and... subsidize our munitions, small arms, and artillery industries. Let's go ahead and turn off our resource industry decrees so that we can increase conscription. Ooh, and I'm going to need to cut a consumption tax because I don't have the authority. Or I can increase government wages. It won't be enough. Alright, enlistment efforts. Yeah, extra training rate is critical. Alright, and Russia should... The Austrians should be stepping in on this. Austria will pull in their subjects once the war starts, and that'll make things a lot easier. And there's nationalism. Beautiful. The Serb national awakening has begun in Western Serbia. Wonderful. So first things first, I got a little bit more authority, so we'll put those taxes back on tea. And then let's take a little look at the national awakening. That's the thing the DDLC is named after. Extra support separatism strength. Nationalist cross-border propaganda. Whilst Serbia has taken its first steps towards nationhood, it remains a land of peasants. Much of our populace continues to view the world through the lens of village and clan rather than that of national brotherhood. We must foster cultural fervor amongst our populace and construct a unified nation from the Serbian people. The fervor of the Serbian culture is affected by the following conditions: average literacy of Serbian pops, quantity of Serbian academics, Serbian communities researching nationalism and pan-nationalism, average acceptance of Serbian pops, independent or formerly independent Serbian countries. Will complete if Serbia is not a subject of another nation, which hopefully will be soon. Serbia is not of any variant of subjecthood. Our cultural fervor of Serbia is greater than or equal to 75. If completed, triggers the event the Serbian Revival. Possible events: 10% of Serbian pops become more loyalist. Gain claims on all Serbian homelands, which we should have already. Nationalist fervor for extra training rate, conscription rate, and reduced morale loss, and armed forces gets stronger. Interesting. Will fail if has formed Yugoslavia. Curious. We are going to do that, but it's not going to be for a while, so that's fine. We have an unacceptable government somehow. Oh no, it's not an unacceptable government. It's not an illegitimate government. It's just an unacceptable government. This is creating ticking radicals, yes, but not a lot of them. Them's the breaks. Alright, let's go! Political movement disbanded. That's okay. I still have my Yugoslav national movement. That's what we need. Okay, Austria, what's up? Let's negotiate. You want me to pay for being able to invest in Serbia. How about I don't pay for it? And you give me military assistance? No. They like this a lot. Ooh. What if... No. I'm gonna actually decline. I want to fund my own industry. Psychiatry is unlocked. Very nice. Intelligentsia are no longer powerful. Interesting. Intelligentsia are falling in strength. Exile from Croatia, Slavonia. That's fine. I guess I'm going to unpause government construction, because I can keep building stuff at this rate. With the Ottomans focusing on the Russians, I can maybe push forward and seize everything I wish to seize. In fact, I might get crazy greedy on this. And steal, Uskop as well. Maybe I will. Maybe I will get so greedy. 18 infamy. The children are going to be big mad. I'm only going to be able to count on help from Russia and Austria this one time, though. I think I gotta take it. So that means... let's pull in the intelligentsia and start working on racial segregation. A bunch of people would be against the petite bourgeoisie. Oh, I beefed it. Well, that's okay. If I can get... Wait a minute. This guy is a Oh no, he's a land reformer. He's not a reformer. Oh, I don't have a reformer anymore. Oh, tragedy. Well, we'll see if I can make this happen. The petit bourgeoisie are very happy right now. So let's see if this can work. I might be about to make a terrible mistake. Wow, this is costing me a ton. We're deeply in the black if we're not building. So let's build. No, this is dumb. This is dumb. Expenses are only going to go up as time goes by. So let's halt construction and fight our war. Let's take a quick look at our market. Let's go ahead and set our armies to advance. We have a significant grain shortage in our market. That's okay. Let's get our farms working on harvesting tools. Where's all this? A lot of our industries need grain. So let's go ahead and build... Ooh, I don't actually have much infrastructure available. Well, unfortunately, I need the grain more than anything. So, I may need to go into debt over this, and that's just simply going to have to be how it is. Hopefully we'll get this done fast. Serbia and Montenegro... Montenegro's gone, so maybe we'll be fine. We're winning our attack here. Wallachia is damaging relations. Buddy, you could have been in on this, but you're not. Oh no, they were in a war with them. Never mind. Alright, and Austria has pulled everyone into the, all their subjects into the war. And now Russia is fighting on that front as well. Which, you know, I may have goofed this up for Russia. So, you know, all the, ooh, Wallachia left the power block. That's exciting. Oh no, they simply became a subject of the United Principalities. Yeah, who are on the other side now. All right, that's all right. So let's get a hold of Uskup. We're doing well over here. We're making good progress. This is a winning battle for us, even though the enemy is in a controlled retreat. We're both retreating. Dang, I might actually lose this battle. I might be able to snatch defeat from the jaws of victory here. They went back to a fighting. Dang it. Dang it. Austria, help! Help, Austria! Oh boy, comedy of errors over there. Alright, so we are building our wheat farms. And this is, part of the reason we're doing this is because we actually really need to focus on our economy right now, because this is going to be our economy from here on out. What do things look like over here? Infrastructure's okay. Let's build up one more level of furniture manufacturers. The art of doing nothing. Though previously opposing the racial segregation laws, Antun Harambashit has considered the intelligentsia's political position and instead offers support. While speaking with constituents on matters of law, one must first master the art of appearing to do nothing. While you do everything behind whispers and masked men? Indubitably. Welcome their support. Stronger petite bourgeoisie and intelligentsia, extra enactment success chance. Or keep a sharp eye, they're up to something. Extra enactment success chance, but he gets nasty rumors about him. We'll welcome their support. This force comparison looks very good. Although we seem to not be going forward much. So I'm not sure why that's not going very well. But them's the breaks, I suppose. Let's increase law enforcement. Yeah, because we're about to bring in a bunch more territory. Ooh, we got a winning battle over here, though. Yeah, hell yeah. My broken supply line can defeat your broken supply line. Sulfur shortage. That's right. Alright, so to fix that, I need to get my paper mills down to the pulp pressing method. And that's simply what must be done. So that there's no sulfur demand. One of these places has sulfur, right? No. Okay, so I'm going to need to figure out sulfur. I currently have the ability to trade through Austria's global trade network, so I can purchase. Actually, no. I'm gonna. Let's take a look at sulfur. I don't want to import tariff sulfur. At the very least, I want to do that. We are bringing some in because we're using it for our explosives factories. Okay, so getting sulfur independent is something that I need to accomplish. And is there anywhere in the Balkans that I can get sulfur? Not really. Alright, so that's going to be something we're going to need to address in the long term. Political economy. Disagreements between the trade unions and the industrialists are causing conflict in the government. Do you believe that you can create value purely out of your own vision? You can only persist in those delusions because you have never seen the hands below you that do the work. Those hands would be idle were it not for the minds at work which you never see acting above you. Capital drives progress, trade unions unhappy, workers deserve the fruits of their labor, industrialists unhappy, or try to set aside class conflict for the common cause. Reduced authority. I'm going to say the workers deserve the fruits of their labor, mostly because my current government really favors the industrialists, and I can afford to piss them off just a little bit. So what do I need? I need to get a hold of Bosnia, Montenegro, and Macedonia. And I am winning this war. I'm in pursuit now, and the enemy's fleeing. So that should be giving me... Yeah, here we go. We're really pushing forward now. So if I can get up to 100% occupation in these areas, then I've got my war goals, and the enemy will lose their war support protection, and then I'll be very pleased. How's my national awakening going? It's going okay. I should be able to... There should be more with... What's our... Yeah, we're getting 0.31 fervor per month, up to a set point of 56. Reduced from country modifiers. Ah, from the Ottoman Empire. All right. Well, things will be better later. I'm going to stop government construction now. Popular playwright endorses reform. In the midst of the debate surrounding racial segregation, one of the country's leading playwrights, strongly associated with the petite bourgeoisie, has staged a widely acclaimed play whose politically laden theme makes no secret of the author's desire for the law to be passed. The man's viewpoints may be somewhat partisan, but sir, you cannot argue with his prose. Options are racial segregation will be on everyone's lips now. Increased enactment success chance. Sure puts the petite bourgeoisie in a good light, stronger petite bourgeoisie. Or let's ensure the play gets a wider international audience, extra prestige. I'm going to go with the first one for extra enactment chance because I want to get this done pretty close to as soon as the war is finished out as possible. Ooh, cash flow is down bad. I'm down bad with this cash flow. All right. That said, we've got Bosnia. We're moving into Montenegro. And if we can win a few battles there and get what we need to get, we'll be sitting very pretty. If we can get to racial segregation, we can also put ourselves in a really good position to take over the rest of Bulgaria, because those pops will be treated pretty okay in our current in our state. My war support, I do not have war support protection though, so I need to move pretty fast in order to make this work. And I'm really hoping. Let's set our armies to grab our remaining strategic objective, because that's the only place that I still need. I need to make sure that I don't, because like we're doing a bunch of attacks down here, and that no one needs that. I certainly don't need that. The place I need to attack is Montenegro. If I can win in Montenegro, I can be winning the war, and that's what matters. How are we doing over here? We're very close to railways. Actually, that's super duper good. So once railways are complete, let's do water tube boiler. That'll improve the mining situation. And then we'll circle back to society. Actually, no. Let's do dialectics. Then we'll do water tube boiler. Because I actually really do need dialectics from a research perspective. I've got to get my ability to increase my research going, because if I can't get that, I'm going to be in a really bad situation long term. Beautiful. Alright, I've got all the states that I need now. I'm going to set my armies to defense. Not going to take any additional unnecessary losses. The enemy no longer has war support protection, so before too long I should be able to take everything I desire. Really soon, actually. Wonderful. The Ottoman Empire set cars as their target, which is very funny. In vernacular, the famed scholar Stepan Apostolovic has translated the New Testament into the Serbian language. The growing corpus of Serbian language works has spurred an increase in the language's prestige among priests and intellectuals. I've ordered a copy of the Principia in Serbian, and one of my colleagues has requested a full Bible in the same. If we can have one work of merit translated per year, each translation done by a student that goes on to teach others, we shall have a sizable corpus by the end of the century. Far more than that, if the suppliers recognize the demand. An ambitious undertaking indeed. Do you believe you could manage to change the department over? I dream of a future where our language is one that others desire to learn, where a Swede may request essays from a Serbian publisher, and furthermore, I dream that one of my own students shall be the author of those essays. Soon all of Europe will publish in Serbian. Stepan Apostolovic gains the trait literary. Serbia gains vernacular translations for 10 years, increasing text spread for society. Fervor of Serbian is changed by 5. Excellent. Or we must strive to produce original works as well. He becomes literary. Instead of gaining text spread, we get Arts Academy and University throughput and 10 fervor. Interesting. I'm going to go with the text spread for society right now, because I'm still kind of behind in technology, and getting that text spread increase is going to be really, really rock solid for me from a long-term perspective. So, I think one more week and we should be able to get what we need to get from the Ottomans and be good to go. Alright, everyone is pleased with this. Hiya! Alright, Declaration of Independence. Alright, so we have gained control of Bosnia and Montenegro and Macedonia. And they've got new names. So this is Montenegro again, this is Bosnia, and this is Stara Serbia. Stara Serbia. So, first things first, we have to start incorporating. These are going to take 2 years. Very reasonable incorporation time. I've completely fucked myself on government capacity, but that's okay. That's really okay. I'm going to go back to the sulfite piping method because well, maybe not yet. First things first, I need to build the necessary government capacity to support all the territories I'm newly integrating. I'm going to reset production methods. All right. I gotta start producing my own liquor, I think. Oh, but I don't have any sugar in the market, so that's no good. Any other places where... Oh, I forgot to... Okay, so tooling workshops. We're at least going to start conversion over to steel tools, because that's going to be vital long term. We are producing steel, which I wasn't thinking about, and I built those steel mills and completely forgot. But that'll be good long term, and then we'll all be sitting pretty. And there's nitro. Wonderful. I'm actually going to queue in another government admin. I'm going to throw all this other stuff at the bottom of the queue, because I need to do this fast. Discord within the industrialists. An influential faction within the industrialists has grown frustrated with their co-members' neutrality on the topic of racial segregation. Themselves in favor of the law, they've now resolved to form a separate political faction, intent on passing it. Curious. How can you all stand idly by and watch the world pass before your eyes? Have you no sense of honor, of duty to your fellow man? I say nay to such lack of ambition, and I dare say I am not alone in this. With their support, the bill shall pass. Extra enactment chance, weaker industrialists. Or the petite bourgeoisie extend an open hand to these mavericks. Significantly weaker industrialists, stronger petite bourgeoisie, not as much enactment chance. I'm going to go with the first one, because I need that. I've just researched the new explosives method. I'm going to go to the ammonia soda method, and then I'm going to institute nitro use in our lead production. No, I'm going to institute nitro use in our iron production. That's going to be good overall. Obviously, cash flow is down really, really bad, but that's okay. Alright, I am going to need more explosives. So let's get those built. Throw that on the bottom of the queue. Actually, no, I don't need to, because we're bringing this stuff in. Okay, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to subvene import of sulfur, because I need sulfur in order to function. And we're just going to... We'll have to bite the bullet and do it. I think Western Serbia needs another trade center. So we'll throw that in the top of the queue and get it done as fast as we can. That's hopefully going to solve our cash flow issue, at least a little bit. Getting these government buildings built, I mean, is going to solve our cash flow issue, hopefully. Hopefully. Kind of a tragedy if it doesn't, but them's the breaks and we'll deal with it. Alright. So now our sulfur situation is doing a lot better. And by a lot better, I mean a little better. We've still got coffee being imported. That's fine. We have pops eating silk. And we have some shortages of infrastructure. We got huge turmoil in Bosnia. Really, really bad. But hopefully that'll go down as a population becomes more accepted, because they are significantly more accepted now. And will potentially be even more so under racial segregation, and that would delight me. I would be delighted. National awakening is continuing. I guess this is a bit of a slow burn. Got that trade center built, so hopefully that means more capacity for bringing in the necessary sulfur. Yeah, there we go. Alright, beautiful. Just beautiful. From here, I think I still want to produce these, I still want to construct these universities. We're almost good to go on bureaucracy. Obviously paper is an issue, but we're getting there. How is the explosive situation here? We're doing okay for sulfur. I may need to produce even more, to build more trade capacity. Got one more government sector built. How's paper? Paper's probably in a bad spot. Oh, finally. The railway. No, paper's actually alright. Alright, so that's a priority. A significant one, in fact. Because we've got to get the economy growing again. Law progress to drafting. That's wonderful. Only good things can come of this. We got one more government sector under construction here. Cash flow is doing better. Cash flow is doing better. I gotta get these universities built. I am also going to queue in railways in all of our newly conquered states. Private sector is building a port in Montenegro, looks like. That is very good. I'm very pleased about that. We're doing it, friends. Oh, actually, I need to change up my decrees, because I no longer need these massive enlistment efforts. Let's go ahead and we'll leave off improving industries for now, and we'll throw a consumption tax on coffee. And that'll be just fine for the time being. Well, that was a very productive war, and we're slowly making good of what we've needed. Obviously, cash flow is going to be really bad for the moment, but as these places get incorporated, they'll start producing cash flow for us, and that will be a lot better. And until then, our primary struggle is just going to be to make sure that nobody who's bigger than us picks on us and tries to make a problem. I've got... Well, isn't this silly? I've got a bunch of Lancer units that I don't need. Let's close out some of them. Raising concerns. The armed forces have expressed their concerns about government decisions clearly favoring the interests of the industrialists. Choosing is always hard, not because the decision is difficult to make, but because the consequences can be a bit inconvenient. Rumors are spreading like smoke from a factory, staining the clear air of Serbia with a dense and vicious poison. This needs to be addressed. Armed forces much happier, industrialists very unhappy, or they need to accept that we can't always please everyone. Armed forces unhappy and weaker. I'm going to go with the second one, because I'm favoring the industrialists at least a little right now. So from here, wither Serbia. Let's take a quick look at this. So this is not an ideal balance of units. There's still so many more Lancers than we need. Have we at least gotten some? Yeah, we've gotten some more artillery. And we've gotten no more infantry. So right now I'm going to queue up a few more units of infantry. And then everything else is going to be artillery. That's going to make us a 12-6-4 army, and that'll be fine. And we'll do the same... We'll do the same for our standing forces as our conscript forces, and that'll be just fine. And we'll be able to call on a lot more units when the time comes as we continue to take territory over here. We're in drafting for racial segregation, which is good. So we're nearly there, and that'll make it a lot easier for us to simply seize control of these other territories and have the people living in them be accepted as Southern Slavic people. From here, though, that is all the time we've got for tonight. This is going to be a nice, solid episode. 2.25 hours. Not bad at all. We've gone from being a small state to a medium sized state. We got 5 states, and I'm feeling pretty good with all the progress we've made. So, that is all the time we have for tonight, my nerds. I have had fun. I hope you all have had fun, and I will see you on the other side.